Hi, everyone. I'm Tony Wong. I'm with Badu Networks. And you know what makes me sick? What makes me sick is bad Wi-Fi, bad network connections. How many of you are staying at hotels or travel? And I mean, our hotel Wi-Fi is just pathetic. I mean, I'm sure your homes, you probably are paying a gobble of money. You're probably not getting what you think you're getting, right? And what's the remedy? What are the symptoms? Feel a little spinny ball, right? You're waiting for something to either download or upload, and sometimes you can't even get a connection, right? So what are the remedies? Well, there's the kind of, old folklore, more bandwidth, right? More cowbells. Just pay more money, bigger pipe. Or let's replace that router with a new one. Or how about more powerful access points? Right? That's what everybody thinks. And it helps solve some of the problem. Turns out it doesn't really solve all the problem. So, this works.
Bad Wi-Fi.
So we actually think we have an aspirin for this problem. And we're Badu Networks. We're a software company here in Irvine, early stage. And our mission is to improve your network. We don't build your network, we actually help make it better. And we do it using a kind of next generation technology in order to meet the next generation of network problems. So today, the reason why the networks are different from even 10 years ago, you're dealing with cloud, a lot of internet. Many of you you have to use the internet or the cloud. By the way, the cloud's in the internet. So there's a whole bunch of things going on that didn't exist. Encryption. So there's a lot of things going on. And what we do is we optimize the network. What the hell does that mean, right? Well, it turns out that if you go talk to your IT friends, they'll tell you that most of the time the network's hardly ever completely used. Think of the network as a big giant pipe with water flowing through it. Or maybe in this case, it's a blood vessel with blood flowing through it. Sorry, not medical, that's as close as I can come. Besides breathing. So our technology scales easily, which is different than what used to exist. And because of that, we can actually scale it into any little device and meet all sorts of price points. And we've taken a completely different approach, which is why what we can do and the results we see are better, and in use cases that previous products have never been able to do. I'll talk more about that. So I mentioned we're a software company, high margins. We actually can sell the software. We can also put it in a cloud and virtualize it, or put it on your appliance. Or if you need to, you have to put it on the network somewhere. So we can also sell it as an appliance. Again, we don't make hardware. We just buy it off the shelf from somebody, like Dell, and we just drop our software in it. So why are we here? I mean, this is medtech. It's not CES. It's not whatever, cloud tech. I think what you guys are all starting to do with medical and technology is move traffic, communicate with other things. So I think at that point, lives may even depend on some of this data being sent. And as more devices are on the network and pushing more traffic, that flow through the blood vessel actually decreases. So if we can prevent traffic from slowing down, then we think we can make your technology better, or in what you're trying to do. Whether you're a hospital trying to move an X-ray to some other location, or whether you're in IoT trying to communicate all the time with some other thing or mothership or some other device. So that's why we're here. Okay, I'm going to get a little geeky here, a little optical test. All this is trying to say is we don't change physics. We don't make traffic go faster. We don't make the pipe bigger. But it turns out that as more devices with the jitter today from today's type of network. The bottom is more users, and the left column is improvement. As the number of users and traffic increases, something actually happens to traffic. It actually gets pulled back. So what we do is we maintain that, and the different bars are actually different file sizes. So whether you're dealing with IoT, which are usually either super small files or super large video files, or everything in between, it turns out that depending on the size of the file, it actually impacts the network, and it always impacts it negatively. And so you can see on the far right, as you have a lot of users, and you're dealing with large files, and actually all files, up is good in this case. By the way, that's a pretty typical Wi-Fi sort of benefit. We also see that in cell towers with cellular traffic. I mean, if you guys didn't know, ladies didn't know, a cell tower is nothing but a giant router. It's no different, really, than what you have in your house. So our technology is called Warp TCP. Yes, we're a bunch of old guys that like Star Trek. It's actually how we came up with the name. I don't think young people even think about that, right? It's like, Star Trek, what was that? What's Star Wars, right? No, so we optimize traffic, and how we do it is we actually make the network smarter. All right, so I'm going to give you like a great cocktail little 101. So next time you sound really smart when you're in a non-medical conference. And you can tell them, hey, I know how traffic works. Okay, 95% of the world's traffic is actually governed by this proverbial protocol or traffic cop called TCP. How many of you have heard TCP, right? You hear these acronyms, TCP/IP, it has to do with the web, World Wide Web. Well, that's TCP. It's like a little smart or dumb traffic cop. And what happens is it gets confused. And it thinks, in today's traffic, in today's network, it thinks that there's congestion. So it pulls back. So when you're sitting there with a spinning bubble trying to watch Netflix and it's spinning, you're probably going, what the heck's going on? It's gotta be AT&T's fault. It's gotta be Comcast or Cox, right? You point your fingers at the most obvious bad guy. And it's not. Most of the time it's not, because they'll prove to you that they're pushing exactly what you're paying for. The amount of pipe that you pay for. So we make that traffic cop smarter. And we're one of the few products that actually work with encrypted traffic. And the reason is because we actually don't do what a lot of previous products have done. We don't change the data. We don't even look at the data. So what we're not doing is we're not changing the bandwidth, we're not adding routers, we're not adding more access points. We're also not doing some stuff that previously people have done. We don't compress the traffic, we don't deduplicate it, we also don't cache any of it. I know, what's caching? I'm not going to get into that, but so we don't do it yet. And maybe the best thing that we don't do is we actually don't shape the traffic. We don't limit it to only people that is internals, and then you cut back on the guests, or you give it to people who aren't watching video. So you try to shape what you have, but at the end, everybody sort of loses, right? So how do we apply what we do, and why are we talking to some of you? These are the major markets. Mobile operators would be like your AT&Ts of the world. Again, we're the only product at a cell tower, and we're seeing 2 to 3x improvement. So that's a big deal, because you can't put up a lot of cell towers. Most cities now are even banning it. There's 5 cities in California that actually outlaw cell towers. And I always get the questions, and I'm going to sound really smart at a cocktail party. What about 5G, Tony? Isn't that going to solve the world's problem? Nope, it won't. You're going to need somewhere between 5 and 10 times more towers, first of all, to even make it work. So we have the only product that's cell tower, and cellular traffic is really complex. It's high volume, super complex, probably one of the most complex and fastest traffics out there. We also we're perfect for enterprise. If you're a large organization with multiple floors and you have Wi-Fi and you're trying to communicate to your various buildings and branch offices and you're trying to back up traffic, it works great. Because we can scale down to even a little $1,000 box for a coffee shop, we can help those folks. So branch offices, small business, like really small business. Finally, again, we can put ourselves out in the cloud as an instance. We can help. We're on AWS today. We're going to be on Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft 365, everybody wants to go there, but it's a terrible experience. I mean, how many of you, I see nodding heads. Yeah, my IT people, they said it was great. Yeah, the CIOs thought we were going to save all this money. It was so much better before. So where we are is we're actually finished. We finished up this S1. We're about to file it. We're going to try to go public. We're looking at for $2 to $3 million in bridge funding, and most of that money is going to be used for sales. We've got a huge pipeline. We've got a lot of interest. You can imagine there's 1,000 carriers in the world, and a lot of the big ones are talking to us, or we're in trials, not medical trials. Our trials are different. Okay? We don't have to do any regulation stuff, thank goodness. And we don't have to like get people to wear things and poke them with anything. Sorry, I hate medical. I hate needles. Anyway, so yeah. So what's med tech with bad Wi-Fi? It's just med. Thank you.